So who am I speaking with?
I'm Tony Haile, and I work for Chartbeat.com.
And Tony, loved your presentation about real-time response. Specifically, the theme of your piece was there's no need to predict the future if you can just respond in real time. Sum up, explain what you were trying to say by that.
Well, essentially, there's a problem that we have in trying to predict futures or plan for events when there are so many variables that affect it that can throw us off. And so what we need to do in business is try to minimize the effects of that uncertain future by being able to react to as much as possible in real time.
So, the best examples of it we've all seen right now is in journalism, and it seems natural because it's easier, I guess, to produce content quickly than it is to produce goods. But you said that there's examples where people are producing goods. Take a clothing manufacturer went from a normal 6-month cycle down to 15 days. Explain how they did that.
It's a lot about trying to reassess and reorient your processes, and also about giving people the freedom to act. You can't have real-time data working if it's constantly having to flow up the chain and then down again before you can make a decision, because by then it's just too damn late. So what you have to do is empower people on your frontline teams, people who are closest and most able to act in real time, give them the information directly, and then give them a general framework for acting.
Have you seen a really scared company? Because I see this all the time where they're like, no, everything needs to get approved through, 3-4 different steps. And usually certain industries like financial, they just have laws and regulations preventing them from doing certain things in terms of fast reacting. But what have you seen is sort of the most impressive turnaround in terms of they were very stodgy and they finally get in like, okay, we now have to react? And was it more of a do or die situation?
I think it's in industries which are facing kind of disruptive change right now. So publishing is a classic example. So many companies started out being just, the way of doing things had always been the way of doing things. It was a translation from print into the web, which didn't take into account really the web's differences. And when that started to fail, when they started to be disrupted, they had to find new ways to perform, to be more impactful. And real-time data allowed them to do that. So we've seen amazing transformations in companies using real-time data to be incredibly responsive. I gave the example of Fast Company in my talk, and I think they're one of the great companies using real-time data right now.
Can you sort of summarize that example you gave? You talked about they have screens of data everywhere. So, give a scenario of how they see something and how seeing something spike turns into actual product.
So they have ambient data everywhere because they want it to be like a second sense for all of their editors. And so when they see something spiking, they're able to identify what that is, see where the traffic is coming from, and then go into action to try and double down on that particular spike. So it can be going into the story, trying to change it, trying to lengthen it, trying to hold people, see people where people are clicking on links, and then adapt those links until they perform better. Trying to create conversation around that particular story, focus their efforts, try and double down. There's a great piece by Nick Denton on how they do this in Gawker, because what they say is, when it comes to a spike, you've got to make the absolute most of it, because in the social web, that's where you get the traffic, and when you plateau afterwards, you'll always plateau at a higher level. So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to work the spike in real time.
Work the spike so you get a higher plateau afterwards. Love that. Thanks.
Thank you.